Welcome to Talkin Talons podcast. I'm Vincent Escalera, and today we have with Coach Cantu.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here. Excited.
Thank you, Coach, for coming on. So, Coach, this is your first year here. How are you liking it so far?
Love it. Love the support from the campus. Administration is great. It just feels natural. Feels at home. I feel like I've known a lot of my coworkers for a long time when I actually don't. But they love mission. They love the Mission Eagles. So they just welcome me with open arms.
That's good. I see you always at the pep rallies, getting everyone hyped up, giving your speeches, getting players involved. And then even at the games, we see you're hyping up your team when someone gets a pick, when someone does good, like Santi. When he scored, I always see you dapping him up, whether it's Shelby, Santi, Gano doing a good throw. Um, Coming off two huge wins against Rio and then against Nicky Rowe, a dogfight that was. But
Yes, it
y'all,
was a
you and your
dogfight.
boys pulled through. How do you feel your season has gone so far?
It's been a rough season. Our record we're 3-5. But the five losses. I will say this. We ran into the best teams in the valley. I said in an interview a couple months back that we're kind of in the SEC of the RGV. Playing McAllen Memorial. They're always tough. They've been tough for a long time. Obviously, Edinburgh Bella's been tough for a long time. And then we dropped the game against in the Battle of Conway against Mission Vets. That was a really emotional game. But we've lost to the best in the valley. Mission Vets is still, they're still peaking. So is Vela. So is McAllen Memorial. So we've grown from those tough losses, and then we've had some losses where we're within one possession of pulling out a win. Against Sherryland, we were down by one possession, and same as Palmview. So as far as the second part of the season, we were 1-4 the first five games, and now we're 2-1 going into the second half of the season. So, it's like I told the boys this morning. We haven't played our best football yet. There is growing pains being new to the program and installing a whole bunch of schemes and stuff of that nature. But as far as our best football is yet to go.
Yeah, I see that all the time when I'm on the sidelines. I see that from the first Battle of Conway game to now, there's been a huge amount of growth. I don't know what it is, but everything's just clicking now between Gano and the receivers. The run game's been always good with James and Richard. Everything just looks a lot more cleaner and better. And then, like you said, we played against Vets who shocked everyone and became a really good team. Vela, who has the number one interception leader in the nation, actually. Memorial has a crazy run game. You're playing the best teams and you're still putting up a good fight. And through this all, I've seen a lot of good things, and I'm really excited to see what comes next, coming into next week against McHi.
Yeah, it's a huge game for us. It's a short week this week. We play them in about 48 hours, and and I told the boys this morning, we're kind of in control of our own destiny. We do what we need to do and beat McHi. We'll be in the driver's seat as far as our playoff aspirations. So that's the goal.
Yeah, we need to win out, right? The next two games.
Well, there's a couple of scenarios. Obviously, if we win out, we'll go in as a number three seed into the playoffs, which is better for us. You want to go in as a number three seed, so you play the number two seed for the next district over. Um, if so, there's different scenarios, and it's all based upon what happens with the other schools. So,
Yeah,
for example, just yeah, my math could be wrong, but we've got a three-way tie between ourselves, Rowe, and Palmview. So if we went out, we won't have to go in the tiebreaker system. If we drop a game against McHi and win our last game against Wattis Lincoln, then we'll go into positive negative points. So that's where the district tiebreaker plan comes into effect. So um, if we drop a game against McHi and close out the season with the victory, there still is a possibility to make the playoffs. But right now, our focus is to beat McHi, which we're definitely capable of, and finish out the season with a victory over Wattis Lincoln and go into the playoffs in the third seed.
um, these last few games, I mean, I just can't get over it. It's just been electric with connections like Shelby really turning it around. Who are some of the players that you've been leaning on since the start of the season to help lead the team?
We've had a lot of growth from defensively, a lot of growth from Jonathan Cater. He came
Yeah.
in. It was a lot of stress for him. It's a new system, new defensive scheme, new package, blitz packages, base packages, nickel packages, 6-man pressures, 5-man pressures. It took a while, but the last couple of games, he has ever since the Palmview game, he has really taken control of defense. And as a matter of fact, this past game versus Nicky Rowe, he was elevated to the defensive captain. So
Oh wow.
he's shown a lot of growth, a lot of maturity, a lot of leadership in the last month or so. So he's earned the title of defensive captain.
That's great. I see him all the time. I've been seeing him a lot more recently, though. I see him reading the gaps. He's getting the quarterback. He's reading the plays. He's reading schemes. He's directing traffic. He's doing really well.
Yes, absolutely. He's all over the field right now. He's the heart and soul of that defense, and we're leaning on him, and we put a lot on his plate, and he's responding well.
I know, especially with some guys out like Javi, Edmias, and that really takes a toll. So having someone like that to elevate the team morale and make big plays and step up, next man up. I know that's a big thing y'all talk about. That's really nice to have, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We lost. When we lost Javi, that it's a starting safety. That was a huge loss for us. Um, you know, Luckily for us, we have a kid, Milo. Milo's been able to come in. He had a really really tough game against Nicky Rowe. We lost Jeremiah. He tore his ACL. He had surgery, and he's recovering well now. And we've been able to elevate some of the JV kids. So they've responded well. And then we've leaned on the seniors that are there now to kind of put a band-aid, for lack of better words, for his position. But losing him at starting defensive end was also a huge loss.
Speaking of Milo, I remember on the very last play, it was a goal line stand. They kept trying to make passes get through, but Milo was actually the one who got off his man to cover the guy who got the last pass. That was a really great play from him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a sharp kid. He understands coverage as well, and it's funny to think. 2 weeks ago he was an offensive player, and within the last week he's transitioned over to the defense, and he's really picked up our schemes, and he understands what he needs to do for us to be successful. So shout out to Milo if you're tuning in.
Yeah, he'll see this for sure. He has class with us right now,
Oh,
actually.
nice. All right.
Um, Coach, it's been a really great season, especially for being your first season here. Feel like our team has really proved some of the people wrong. I'm pretty sure they didn't expect us to win the last game, but we did. The boys pulled through, you pulled through, you and your new coaching staff pulled through, and I'm really excited to see what next.
Yeah, hats off to the coaching staff. Man, we put in a lot of hours. They do a great job getting the boys ready, and of course the boys, they come in, they show up day in day out. With this new UIL directive as far as the wet bulb practices in Texas are pretty much non-existent anymore. Afternoon practices. So getting up here every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, it's a lot for a high school. A young man that's in high school. But these boys show up before most of them have even had breakfast, and we go through a full practice. And I'm just proud of them. They show up every day and work their tails off.
Yeah, I'm very proud of them too. I'm always on the sideline. I always get to hear some small talk, hear people like Jared and James hyping up the line, getting make sure everyone's morale's up, getting after it, getting after each other, making sure everyone's set straight and focused on the game. And yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. We have some great leaders in the locker room. Start with Jared. He was the first captain that was elected since I came over to Mission, and he's proven week after week why he's the first captain we ever chose as a coaching staff to lead the Eagles.
well, that'll be all. Thank
All
you for
righty.
coming on, Coach.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
This has been Talking Talents, and thanks for watching.